In order to find the suspect, the man looked carefully in front of the woman and even asked to look closer, but was rejected by his colleague. Neil had no choice but to take off the necklace and observe carefully, and confirmed that the diamond was a high imitation. But the boss next to him said it was impossible, because she put it in the safe with her own hands, and there were security guards and cameras. It was impossible for someone to replace the diamond with a fake one. But to be on the safe side, they checked the surveillance. But what they didn't expect was that a man really appeared in the surveillance. Even after pushing the safe away, he turned around and greeted the camera. Neil immediately knew that this man was very powerful. Not only did he steal the diamond without anyone noticing, but he also replaced the diamond. This gave them a headache, and they started investigating immediately and listed several suspects. Neil picked one person from them. In Neil's opinion, he was the only one who could do such a thing. But this man seemed to know that Neil and his friends were coming, and he said that he knew you were looking for me, and I had an alibi. After they looked at it, they really couldn't find any problems. They had no choice but to go back, but they saw someone from the investigation department. This person was called Mara. He was responsible for investigating FBI insiders. He was also responsible for investigating the missing diamond case. Mara thought Neil was the most suspicious, because only insiders knew the location and whereabouts of the diamond. But Nikki thought it was impossible, because Neil was wearing a chain on his foot. Any trace of him could be found. But Mara said that at the time of the crime, Neil's chain signal was blocked. This made Neil more suspicious. Nikki said Neil would not do such a thing. Then he left. Then he went straight to Neil. Wanted to hear his explanation. Neil said it was definitely not me, but he couldn't prove it for himself. And he said he would solve the case as soon as possible. Prove it for himself. After Nikki returned to the headquarters, in order to clear Neil's suspicion, he gave the diamond to the technician for inspection, hoping to get some useful information from it. A few days later, the test results came out. Nikki Neil was also at the scene. The test results showed that the diamond had Neil's mark on it. Neil said in disbelief that it was impossible, but Nikki still took him back to prison. In prison, Neil kept saying that he was framed and that he couldn't use the same method twice, but Nikki had no choice because he didn't have any evidence to prove it. Fortunately, Neil's friend knew that he was in prison and helped him as a lawyer. The lawyer said that he could help you investigate, including Mara from the investigation department, and brought some items from Mara. This was after Neil was in prison. Mara destroyed the remaining papers. After the lawyer left, Neil pieced the papers together bit by bit, and the information in it shocked him. But the court suddenly held a review, and Neil was required to attend. Neil knew that he had to tell Nikki the news, so he suddenly jumped out of the window during the conversation and jumped into the car to Nikki's home. After Nikki returned home, Neil also took the initiative to appear and told him the contents of the letter, and the diamond test results were also forged. It was Mara who bribed the inspector in advance. At this time, Nikki knew that the suspect had never been Neil, but he would face greater troubles.